Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show, Ask the Expert. Today, I've got a really special guest by the name of Jarrett. He has actually been my virtual assistant in working with me for several years now. Great guy. I've actually seen him grow both personally, professionally, and personally. He's got a beautiful family, and just seeing the growth of this gentleman. And I'm him on to kind of talk to us about virtual assistants. And so he is from the Philippines. And here we are. Jarrett, how are you, sir?
Hi, doing good. How are you?
Good, good. Now, you're from the Philippines, right? Where
Yep.
exactly are you located at?
Currently, I'm located in Cavite, Silang Cavite. And it is like a southern part of, not really south, but a southern, a little bit southern part of Luzon region. So it's almost like 300, 400 kilometer away, or less than that in Manila. So pretty
Okay.
much, closer in the city.
Yeah. What's it like in the Philippines right now, especially with like the pandemic going on?
Yeah, in this troubled times, especially in this what happened in the COVID-19 pandemic. As of now, we are in stage, I think, 3 or 4, stage 4 lockdown. So the government implemented stay at home. The public transportations are stopped. Some work has to be done or has to be transferred at home. So this particular time, work at home is very, a thing now. So
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
of
Well,
the
it makes
companies
it
are
makes a lot of sense now that the virtual assistants, right?
right.
That's yeah. So, well, I mean, I want to kind of keep this as an open for you, and what is it like, Jared, being a virtual assistant, working, in the Philippines, doing work for, like myself in America? Like, what is that like?
Yeah, working as a virtual assistant, particularly living in the Philippines, I think around 2012 when I was trying to look for a job as I am studying or finishing my studying in computer programming. I was looking for ways to earn money for my graduation because it requires money in order for me to graduate in associate in computer programming. So um, the work from home or specifically virtual assistant at that time was specifically in the Philippines was like a joke to majority. So if you come up or talk to someone who usually work at the office or like a traditional job, and they will ask you what do you do for a living, and you will say I work from home or I'll do a freelancing or virtual assistant, they're laughing at you because they will say that this is not a normal thing. You don't have any socialization. There are no benefits in terms of the typical benefits when you're working regularly or
Mhm.
in a regular job. So working in that particular society, you have to just shake it up. You don't have to answer those particular jokes or particular accusations. I just have to work on my own. And
Yeah.
the good thing about working at home in the Philippines right before the pandemic is that the number one issue when you're working in a regular job is the transportation. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know. I don't know if you come with that particular news that the traffic in Manila or in the Philippines are very severe. So number one way to escape that is to work from home. So being a freelancer or a virtual assistant is a good thing, especially now. So right now it became very relevant. There's a lot of people looking for work at home, freelancing, virtual assistant, etc.
Yeah. Now, how long have you actually been a virtual assistant yourself?
I think around 8 years now, or going 9 years. I think you're
Okay.
one of the first client that I had. I applied in a other online job outsourcing site, so I
Yeah.
landed the job for a website design.
Yeah. I mean, you and I have been working together for a long time. I mean,
Yes, a really long time.
it seems like it's been like 10, 15 years, because I I was in the insurance business when you and I first started working together, and I think you built my first website.
Yeah,
As a
I think I built a 5 websites
yeah,
when you posted the job and you said you need 5 websites, and I said, yeah, let's get it on.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
was single that time, and now I have a family, so
yeah. You're
the
married
time
now?
really, yeah, time
Yeah,
really fly fast.
yeah. Um, so what kind of work do like virtual assistants do like out of the Philippines, like in the U.S.? Because you've done so with me for real estate and insurance. What are some of the other virtual assistants doing as well? Like what kind of jobs are they doing?
Yeah, typically, and some misconception about being a virtual assistant is that they say that, or most people teaching about this particular industry, that virtual assistant is only for someone who needs, assistance in terms of answering calls, doing some appointments, and etc. So, virtual assistance is a very wide industry. So it can be someone you need for website marketing, content writing, a developing app or something related to real estate, etc. So it doesn't being specific in one particular industry, like doing some contents or answering calls or appointments. So it's very wide industry.
What can you get into like a little bit of detail, like because I know you're really good at like graphic designs, websites. Somebody listening and they're looking to maybe hire a virtual assistant. What should they do like when they find a virtual assistant? How could they need to be real specific on what they need, correct?
Yep. Yep. So both sides, if you're someone looking for a virtual assistant, or if you're looking for a virtual assistant job,
Mhm.
there are. I was looking in particular job or job posting Facebook group, and they were like asking for particular VA stuff. So I answered them and ask and tell them that visual assistant is very wide industry, like I said before. So you
Yeah.
have to be specific in terms of looking and finding. If you're a client, if you're looking for someone, you have to be specific what kind of virtual assistant job that you're going to post, and vice versa. If you're going to look for work in virtual assistants world, you have to be specific what kind of skill sets that you have,
Mhm.
or you might need to learn in order to offer it to someone.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got virtual assistants that do like lead generation, Facebook
Yep.
marketing,
Yep.
making phone calls. So
Right.
now you have other family members that do virtual assistant type stuff as well, don't you?
Yes, I have 3 older brothers, and 2 of them used to be or still doing some call center jobs, or cold
Mhm.
calling and inbound and outbound call. And the other brother I have is a graphic artist, a graphic
Mhm.
designer. So all of us are into freelancing, work from home job. So still blessed to
Yeah.
have that job
Yeah.
as of today.
Well, good. Now, why should Americans hire out of the Philippines? Like, what's so special about the Philippines and so forth? Like, why not like India or some other place, some other country?
Well, I think 5 or 6 years ago, Philippines was like, I think, second in to be chosen as a virtual assistant. I think the number one was, I think, India or Pakistan. I don't know, but some other places in Asia. But I think as the time goes by, Philippines became relevant in terms of the world of work from home job, because
Mhm.
I think the number one reason was most of us are resourceful in terms of doing our work. We don't settle in one particular work, especially me. I can speak for myself at least. I don't really contain myself in just particular stuff that I do, like website design. I've worked with you with different projects, and to be honest with you, some of those tasks requires me to research, and I think that's the number one aspect of a Filipino, that we possess, and a lot of people around the world are chasing after us. So
Hmm.
I think the second is I think we are cheaper in terms of the payment, but
Okay.
a lot of skilled workers now are deserve to have a higher check or higher pay. So
Okay.
I think that's the main two reasons.
Okay.
And sorry, there's number three. We are speaking English fluently, so most of the majority of us are can speak English, which is number one requirement when you're looking for someone to work with you, especially if you're in America.
Yeah, I mean that was especially like when I first started off. I needed to build I don't know any other languages, so
Yeah,
and making phone calls for me is very important when you speak English. And I
correct.
noticed on the Philippines, you speak more of an American English versus like a dialect of English. So like if I was going out of India, like the English seemed a little bit off, if per se.
Yep.
But when like I'm having a conversation with you, your English is pretty good, spot on.
Yeah, I think the main reason was Americans used to invade us. So, and afterwards, the schools are requiring to have a major in English. So, English is a universal language for us.
Hmm. Now, I also noticed, like on a lot of the resumes that we get, like a lot of people are majoring like in English as well. Is that
Correct.
kind of you seen that a lot?
Yes.
Okay. What is your primary language there in the Philippines?
Um, Filipino is the right term because some other folks are saying it's Tagalog, but the right term for that particular language is Filipino. So the secondary is English, but sometimes it becomes primary whatever you are. For example, if you're a city, if you're a restaurant, or if you're applying for a job, they require English. So it became a one of our primary language.
Real. So, are there a lot of Americans in the Philippines at the moment? Tourist type of stuff, or like living, or
There used to be a lot of Americans, or I think I think 10 years ago, but now it's more like more Asian people, like Chinese, Koreans, because they wanted to study here in speaking English. So that's
okay,
the primary reason they're here. But Americans used to be here, and I know some close friends who is American now lives here in the Philippines. So yeah.
okay, yeah. What else is it about like hiring Filipinos for being virtual assistants? What else can you tell us about that? Like, obviously, it's a great benefit for you guys because especially now that the pandemic is hitting and so forth. But is there a sense of pride? Like, can you kind of elaborate on that?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Well, it seems to be there's a lot more Filipinos looking for work now. Not necessarily. It is. I noticed it before the pandemic. So why are the Filipinos looking for American work?
I think, uh, to be honest with you, it's number one, it's because of higher pay, and secondly, it's for the we love to work with Americans, particularly because we keep our relationship. Like the two of us, we used to know like more like a decade. So I think that's the most important thing in the Filipino, to secure a job and to have a long-term partnership or relationship with their employer. So that is something that we, I think, not really boast about, but we love to talk about with other people or other
Hmm.
Filipinos that we used to talk with. So yeah.
Okay, very good. What are some myths or common things when hiring a virtual assistant? What's some of the myths that you've heard?
Um, yeah, I've heard something about when you become a virtual assistant, you will be, you love to be alone and you don't want to go outside, or if you're someone that doesn't like to be around people, that is very wrong. A person who's working like a virtual assistant like me, I love to be around people, but at the same time, in terms of work ethics, I think the setup of this particular being a virtual assistant is solo thing. I don't like working with someone else if we're in the same page. That is something I think that that's the main myth that they usually say about us.
Yeah. Okay. Now you guys, you do some stuff with your local church too, and some music videos or something. I've seen you post. So, like, I know you're doing a lot of editing and recording, music wise. Tell us a little bit about that.
I am in our church. We do some music. We write and produce music locally, and particularly in those particular stuff, we do or we release songs and some music videos on YouTube, Facebook, and other platforms like that. So, particularly, my job there is to make sure that the music goes out accordingly, according to a producer's perspective. So, aside from virtual assistant, I'm also a music producer. I write my songs. I make music for people, and I do also editing those videos sometimes. But the primary director of that is my graphic artist brother. So yeah, we do those stuff. Release and write songs in Filipino language, and some of them are English. So we cater all audiences.
Yeah. So essentially, somebody looking to make like a 30-second video or some content for Facebook, I mean, that's stuff that like you could help as well, right? Like
Yeah,
editing
of course.
videos and, and if you couldn't, now there's times like Jared, I've had you do projects for me that you couldn't do. And so you had to like go out and figure out how to do it by finding somebody else to kind of sub in or just to get the project done. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's the good thing about working from home or freelancing. If you can do it, um, sometimes you have to accept the job and probably search for some tutorials in YouTube and Google, or have someone to help you. So either way works. So sometimes I do that in your projects, but sometimes I intend to research for it. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, how does somebody go about hiring a virtual assistant in the Philippines if they're interested in finding a Filipino to do some marketing for them or lead generation, graphic design?
There are tons of online job or job outsourcing websites that you can look for. Or there's a thing in Facebook now. It's I think a Facebook job. You can just post a job there, and you will be surprised how many Filipino will be chasing after your job post. Specifically, if you're going to say, I need someone to help me with my website or virtual assistant, etc. So, particularly, most client looks for job in job outsourcing sites.
Okay. Now we've got a site that we put together for this
Yep.
specifically, VA staff 24/7
Mhm.
.com. Can you tell us a bit about that and why that's important and how that kind of works, Jared?
Yeah, I remember we talked about this particular website or this particular
Mhm.
project like a few years ago,
Yeah.
and you wanted to open up or create new project related to job outsourcing. So the good thing about this project, we are in the same page. We're in the same industry. You're in the business side, and I'm in the employee side. So the good thing about this that VA Staff 247 is tailored or made for Filipinos. And the good thing about this is that there are a lot of Filipinos waiting for a new job or new work, and I've already made some marketing on it, and they're just sitting there and waiting for us to, or someone from US to post a job in there.
Yeah. So, essentially this here is kind of like a hub to get, connect virtual assistants with Americans and Americans, so some of the nice things about it is obviously, it might be a little bit cheaper rate. I mean, quality of work, everything I've ever gotten from you, Jarrett, was top notch. And I get people on me, hey, who done that? Who's your graphic designer?
Mhm.
Who did the video? So, um, yeah. What are some other steps when somebody's looking for a virtual assistant, what are some of the key components, Jared, that somebody should ask their a potential virtual assistant before they hire them?
The hiring process in virtual assistants or in any particular work from home freelancing is that there are requirements that you need to make sure before they work for you. Number one is the internet connection, because that is long-term problem here in the Philippines, but now we are stepping up. And yeah, you have to have a specific requirement in terms of speed, download and upload speed. Number two is the computer. You have to ask that person to have if he or she has a good computer to work with. And number three, the skill sets, of course. That is very important. Without it, nothing will work. So you have to make sure that the specific job is fit to that person. So it's up to you. There's no really like a guideline, so to speak, when hiring a virtual assistant. You have to trust your feelings and trust that person. So that's it.
Yeah. Now, when you say like internet speed and things like that, so I mean, there's obviously the times that you and I couldn't even communicate because of like a storm or something that came in. But like, what are some of the requirements that we should look for internet in the Philippines?
Particularly, there are most clients now look for they know how to deal with this particular requirement. So, for example, if you're going to see or if you're going to make your own job post, just to make sure, you have to include in that particular requirement in internet speed at least 5 Mbps or megabytes per second upload and 5 megabytes download speed. So that's the minimal requirement. So there are a lot of a client used to be looking for 20 megabytes per hour per second. So that is something that most Filipinos doesn't have at the moment, or I think a few years ago. But now there are a lot of internet service providers are providing this particular speed. So yeah, at least 5 Mbps.
Yeah. What's the internet cost there, if you don't mind me asking? Is it expensive to get like the higher end, or?
Yeah, it's typically the higher internet speed. It's more expensive. So I think it's around 30 to 40 or less than that, $30 to $40 for 5 Mbps, or I'm not really sure at the moment what's the but typically it's around like that. $20 to $40. Yep.
Okay. And then like what type of computer should like virtual assistants should you be using for outsourcing into like the Americans?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, because some clients or some virtual assistants doesn't have the right idea or knowledge in terms of getting the technical or the right computer for their work or for their business. So typically, when I started with you, I think it's around 2012, I got a computer, a secondhand, a laptop, and it's a very slow computer. And as the time goes by, the apps, the programs, the internet, and all related stuff within it are progressing. So this year, 2020, I think the best computer that you can have is to check for the processor, what we call the processing unit. So it has to be a top level or mid level, or what we call in gamers world, it has to be mid gaming or high gaming processor. So it can accept and process all the stuff related to working as a virtual assistant. For example, if you're a video editor, of course, you have to have a higher processor, higher RAM, and higher video card. So that's the typically technical stuff that you need to research for.
Okay. So yeah, you were cutting out just a little bit. Your video was even freezing up a little bit. So
yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. And so, but from time to time now, if people. Now you're actually like what 12 hours behind us. It's like midnight there or something like that.
Yep, it's already 11:26 p.m. here.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people are up, obviously, getting on the internet as well. And there's some restrictions in the Philippines on the internet. But what else can you tell us about the virtual assistant staff website before we get off of here?
I think I can show you my screen. I'll try to do that so we can make a short tour. 1 second. Select window. Sorry, my camera is in front of my screen. So
That's okay. Yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to share it, or you might be able to, but
yep, I think I can do that. Okay. Okay. 1 second. You see it?
no, not yet.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. There we go. There we go. It's on there now, Jared.
Yeah, so this is the homepage or the main portal of VS Staff 247. So basically, it's a very typical online job outsourcing if you come to other websites. So if you want to sign up as a job seeker, you just have to. Sorry, I'm just logging in the admin, but yeah, typically there are links here that you can sign up as an employer or job seeker. And there are job categories that you can look for if you're looking for a job. So there's a specific skill set that you are looking for. You can find it here. So if you're in graphics or logo design, you can take a look on the multimedia, graphics and multimedia. And if you happen to be a bookkeeper or accountant, and in the finance, field, you can look for finance and management. Like I said, virtual assistant is very vast, and sky's the limit. All particular jobs that you can see in particular office or typical office can be found in virtual assistants.
Okay, very cool.
Yep.
So, yeah. So if you guys check out this website, if you guys are interested in hiring a virtual assistant, go there, post your job. There's virtual assistants, from the Philippines already on there looking. Some of them got resumes posted on there, but you post your job on there, and like Jarrett will actually even go out and help find a virtual assistant for you that helps fit that. So is that right, Jarrett?
Yep, that's correct.
Yep. So, get in there. If you definitely are wanting to find a virtual assistant, for lead generation, marketing, Facebook marketing, video editing, website design, graphic design, there's all kinds of stuff that can be done on the website and virtual assistants can do. So, me being from America, I mean, the first time I heard about virtual assistants, the thing that really attracted me was obviously the pay. I could hire somebody, at the beginning. I mean, when Jarrett and I first, it was, like 50 cents to $1 to $2 an hour type of scenario. Now paying maybe more than that at the moment, but, there's jobs in the Philippines, you might correct me if I'm, on this, Jarrett, but, you can still find jobs from $1 to $5 to $10 an hour, virtual assistants. So,
right.
Okay. Are you finding about the same price, rates, Jarrett?
What is that?
Are you still finding about the same rates? I know you do everything like in a peso, but, like $1 to $10 type of range for virtual.
Or sometimes some other folks are looking for more than that. So it depends on the skill set that you can offer. So if you deserve that, they will, eventually, if they wanted you to do it. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so next step for people looking for virtual assistants is really just check out the website, VA staff, virtual assistant staff 247.com, and, post your jobs out there, and that'll help get you a virtual assistant. Jarrett will even help find one for you as well. So, any last word of wisdom, Jarrett, on virtual assistants?
Yeah, I know a lot of folks are at home right now, and we are all affected in this pandemic, in this crisis. So You just have to be resourceful. The internet is your power. You have to use your search engine in order to look for ways to earn. The sky is the limit. There's tons of work looking for. I mean, there's a lot of work that is waiting for you. You just have to be resourceful, and you have to train yourself. So there's no really excuse right now. If you have a mobile phone or internet access, then that's gonna be easy for you. You just have to be patient, and you have to be, be positive in terms of reaching those goals, not in COVID-19, but in doing those stuff. So that's how I do it. So I think you can do it too.
Very cool. So, well, hey, Jared, I really appreciate you being on the show today, and thanks for sharing your wealth of knowledge, and appreciate all the work you've actually done for us, and help putting this show together, and like the VA staff 24/7 website. So reach out on the website, VA staff 24/7. We'll pop it back up on the screen real quick, and check it out, and let us know if we can help you out finding a virtual assistant. Jared, again, thank you, and I think you probably need to get some sleep, man. It's going to be getting late for you.
No, I need to finish some tasks for you. So
you got to finish the project.
Yeah, I still need to work.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. So,
yeah.
Hey, thanks again, and have a great evening, and I'll talk to you later, Jared, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.